gonna try it, Lauren?
No, okay. Jump in with both feet. And then you're not going anywhere for your 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's hot. Sit right here so you can see into the kitchen. Not that, it's like all natural, organic. That's not gonna be what you want. Really? From the carton? Mrs. Eastburn makes an appearance, boys and girls. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to another episode of Springville Hot Ones. I'm lucky enough to have Mr. Eastburn here today. Going to join us. Just kind of start off with a little question that I always start out with. How are you with spiciness?
So, again, this is going to be, I'm sure, when you edit the trailer for this, like a perfect situation. Because I'm about to say, really like spicy stuff. I enjoy it. I eat it a lot. So when I say that, you're going to like smash cut to me half an hour from now, like choking on everything and not being able to get it down. So there you go. Famous last words. But
Are you ready to start with the first sauce?
I am. Let's get rolling.
All right, I knew you were doing wings, so I changed up the first sauce to Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce.
All right, I'm very familiar with this one. I use this one quite a bit. Breakfast burritos, eggs, things like that. So.
All right. In sticking with, I guess we could kind of, obviously we're going through hot sauces and things like that, but what we're going to do is we're going to pretend your hand is a condiment shooter. You get a condiment for each finger.
Okay. 5
condiments are you going with on your 5 fingers?
Just for like anything that I use, right?
Yeah, you only get to use these for the rest of your life.
Okay, for the rest of my life. Ketchup. Called ranch condiment.
Sure.
Ketchup, ranch, mustard, hot sauce. I'm not gonna go relish because you only ever like put that on a hot dog. And that's not very good. Nacho cheese, is that a condiment?
Sure.
I'm gonna go with that.
All right.
It counts. Judges, say yes.
Next sauce, tasty taco sauce.
This is the one that you bring for Crispitos, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna be on a wing, but let's say, hypothetically, you are stuck, you can't leave the house, you are only allowed to have 5 movies. What are those 5 movies that you are going to...
Think about this all the time when I'm trying to fall asleep at night.
I'm
going to rip them out. Ready? Dark Knight, Lord of the Rings trilogy, Lion King. Yeah, it counts. It's one story. It counts. I get in this argument all the time.
Right.
Lion King, the old one, not the new one. What was I at? 4. Gladiator, 5, Empire Strikes Back. Next question.
Next sauce.
Next one.
Classic. Question here. Middle school social studies teacher here at Springville.
Yeah.
Why did you want to become a teacher originally?
Yeah, that's a good question. I remember, I don't know why I remember this, because I was in like 8th grade. Mr. Steen was his name, so if you ever watch this, I was in his class, and I just remember really enjoying the content. I just really enjoyed learning about things that had happened in the past, whether it be world history, specifically U.S. history, you know, like Revolutionary War, Civil War, things like that. So I'd always had an interest in the content, which I thought was good because it was my best class in school. It's the reason I'm not a math teacher. So I always enjoyed that part of it, but I knew that I'd have to, in order to be a good teacher, you still have to enjoy being around students and some of the other legwork that goes along with that. So I knew I had an interest in it kind of my first couple years of high school, and then my senior year, I did like it was called community service. So you could go to it was a class, but during that time you went and helped a teacher or somebody in the community. And I asked the history teacher at that time, my history teacher, if I could come help him out, you know, grade papers, kind of do stuff around his classroom that would just kind of help him out. And it was during that time that I did kind of do the grunt work of grading papers and finding test questions and things like that, which I also enjoyed. But the big thing was one day he was gone, and or he was in the building but wasn't there, and he asked me to kind of do this review game that the kids were going to do in class. And I remember doing it and thinking, yeah, I could do this for the rest of my life. It just felt like a natural fit It was something I enjoyed. I always tell people I'm one of the very lucky people that always knew what I wanted to do, and then was very blessed to be able to. I've done it. I mean, I've always, I'm straight out of school, I've had this job, and I've enjoyed every second of it. So starting with the content and then moving into just the classroom setting was a very nice transition. And all through UNI, I never once doubted it or questioned it or anything like that. So I've known for a while, for a long time.
All right, we're up to the aardvark.
I can start to feel it in my nose a little bit.
Aardvark habanero hot sauce.
If there's one thing that the school just excels at, it's petty competition. So however much Mr. Troyna put on, I'm sure Mr. Stahl put on a little bit more. And however much Mr. Stahl puts on, I have to put on a little bit more than that. And so on and so forth down the line. So I like the accountability you're bringing here to the hot. That's a little bit more.
What is your most prized possession? And can you go get it?
Let me think about that for a second. Well, to get a little kind of sentimental about it, we have a lot of state basketball memorabilia now that I would like to go grab and get. Only because, obviously that was a really special time, but there's not duplicates of that out there in the world. Those are kind of the one and done. Oh, this is kind of a fun one. When I was in high school, I ran cross country, and every year if we made it to state, we would get shirts that kind of had the year and Monticello cross country and blah, 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 and then our names are on the back. And for some reason, again, 15 years later, I still have every one of those shirts that we got to qualify for state. And that's something I really have obviously held on to through high school, through college, and then 10 years later. So, I've kind of held on to those. I also have a crate of stuff that my mom kept when I was younger, like in third grade, of like drawings and things like that. A lot of needs improvement in a lot of areas. That's down there, and those are kind of fun to go back and look at as well. So, I guess those would be a couple things that have stuck with me, maybe the longest that I've owned. So.
Sweet. All right, next sauce.
Los Cali. That is as soaked as I can make it. That's maybe it kicks in a little bit later, but that wasn't anything very hot. It was like a salsa verde almost. Okay, there's maybe a little bit coming.
We're gonna start a new segment here on Springville Hot Ones, kind of copying the original Hot Ones, but we're gonna call Explain That Photo.
Let's do it. I'm not gonna ask how you got that photo. That was the second to last night when I was 18, before I went off to UNI. So all my friends got together because it was kind of the last night before we all, UNI, Iowa State, whatever. We went into town for something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe to run to Casey's to get some pop or some chips or something like that. We're driving in, and that's like a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee with like 200,000 miles on it or something like that. It was a great car. Anyway, so we're driving. This is a couple days after I think my parents had taken it to the shop, and I got it back. We're driving it on the highway, going the speed limit. And the guy next to me is like, "Can you hear that?" No, what's that sound? He's like, "It sounds like something's rattling. I don't know what that is." And I was like, all right, this is kind of getting freaky because the steering wheel's kind of choppy and getting a little tough. So I'm like, all right, let me pull over and look. I'm not sure if you know this. I can't even change my own oil. I know absolutely nothing about cars or what's under the hood or any problems it could have. So me getting out and looking at the car did zero good. The guy next to me was pretty knowledgeable. So he looked at it and said, all right, it's only about a mile. We'll get back in. We drive there. So we drive back, hang out for a couple hours, get ready to drive home. Tell everybody, hey, I got to go home. I got to pack it. Get ready to go. I make it about 2 miles away from my friend's house. And the car starts like shaking. The most difficult, your arms are like locked because you're trying to hold on to this thing. And all of a sudden, boom, wheel goes flying off. Front driver's side wheel goes flying off. The car goes down into the road. Sparks come flying up out of the car. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I have no idea what happens. This tire, I had to have flown a quarter mile, maybe a half mile. into this field throughout the country, never to be seen again, despite us trying to go and find it the next day. My mom and I are like, we're finding that tire. And I'm like, I could have been killed. Like if I was going any faster, if I was on the highway or something like that, it would have been about as near-death experience as you could get. So naturally, I call the people back at the house and I'm like, hey, can you quietly come pick me up with one of my friends and you're driving me into town, this just happened. He's like, yeah, sure, no big deal. And like any good friend, I can see the road 2 miles away. All of a sudden, here comes like 8 cars out of there. So the quiet slip away to come help me did not happen at all. He told naturally everyone that was sitting there, you know, having hot dogs and hamburgers, that my tire had just blown off into outer space, I presume. Naturally, everybody came there and made fun of me, and eventually I had to have my dad come put my tire on because I didn't know how. But that was after taking that photo. Maybe one of the scariest moments of my life, but
we're at the
Reaper.
Garlic Reaper sauce.
And again, I'm gonna dump it all out so everyone can see. It's so weird having to use the camera there. Ooh, there we go. A lot of texture on that one. Yeah, you earned that. I'm also prepared. Wow.
Yeah, that one ramps up a bit, huh?
Yeah, I get like going down my throat. To disrobe at any time, I have several layers on. Because I'm sure you're going to start to see sweat beads come down my face. That's good. That's a lot.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Keep it simple, stupid. Great advice, hurts my feelings every time. It's going to sound a little cliche, and I'm sure this was during one of my father's lectures or my grandmother's, but doing the right thing is not always doing the easiest thing. I remember that vividly. Again, my parents were always great about giving out those little life lessons. My dad was a teacher as well, and so was my grandma. But that's something that I've really taken to heart, that oftentimes the most difficult decisions, the answer is not always so simple, it's not always so easy, and that it takes a great amount of will, personal discipline to sometimes make those tough decisions, but they're often the most rewarding. Some exponential growth here in uncomfortable big levels of reactions, I'm sure.
All right, we're gonna switch the order up here in this one, because as I've noticed as I've done these episodes, people tend to have more issues with the bomb rather than the last dab. So I feel like the last dab isn't getting its credit that it deserves. So we'll start with the last dab.
I'm nervous now. I can already tell it's not going to be fun. I'm sure we're making a huge mistake here with how much we're putting on here. So,
all right, last dab.
Last dab. That one, again, kind of like a little mango taste to it.
I think it tastes pretty good for like a...
I do too. I gotta tell you, I think the Reaper was hotter.
I think it's a slow builder.
I can start to see that. Woo! Oh boy!
Here we go.
Yeah. Nope. Nope. Woo! That doesn't help. I'm crying. Crying more at the end of Endgame. Oh! It's like the breathing's the worst. I feel like I'm really going full Dumb and Dumber here. I need to get like the ketchup and mustard from when they have the atomic pepper. Yogurt's actually pretty good.
All right, so which one's hotter, last dab or garlic reaper?
No, this is worse. You're definitely right. this is the arrogance coming into play. It's not that bad. I was wrong. So very wrong. It's awful.
You have any story that would stick out to you that you could tell that's most memorable? I mean,
Sure. And I've told you this one, even though you weren't here for it, but it was my interview for the job. Flashback 7 years ago. Fresh out of UNI. Springville's the only school to call me back that I applied to. Did the call back. Scheduled to come in for an interview. Come to the school. I drive up. Only suit I have is my grandpa's old suit from like 1966. It's wool. It's July. It's hot. Full suit. Tie, shirt underneath it. I'm sweating before I get out of the car to go in and do this interview. Walk up to the front of the school, pull on the door, door's locked. Door's locked, can't get in. Door over by the stairs is locked, can't get in. I start sweating even more, thinking they've now changed their mind. They've hired someone, I'm not gonna get the job. I don't know the school, so I walk around. There'll be another door, let me try and find another door. Sun beating down, starting to sweat even more, Get to the practice gym door, that happens to be open, so I open that door. Open up the gym doors, what do I find? High school volleyball practice happening. I figured, only thing I can do is walk through it. So I have to walk through high school volleyball camp in the middle of July, or maybe it was August, in my suit, sweating bullets, in front of all these kids and coaches I don't know, trying to get to my interview, which then, sweating even more, before finally Mr. Merritt comes and finds me, brings me up to do the interview, which is already nerve-wracking to begin with. And as I'm sure everyone who was in that interview can tell you, I probably sweated out 10 pounds of water from my system during that interview.
The bomb here, the one that tends to give people the most trouble. I put a little extra in there in your little container.
Wait.
Because since I like to copy hot ones, I think we should stick with tradition and put a little more on the last one here.
I can smell it. This is gonna be so bad.
So Mr. Eastburn had a really good idea for the last question here, or last questions, to do kind of like a rapid fire. So we're gonna do some rapid fire questions here. Mr. Eastburn's gonna ask one to me. I'm gonna ask one to him. We're just gonna go kind of as long as, I guess, as we can.
Both sides.
You ready? You definitely have more than Mr. Stahl, I'll tell you that.
About more than 20.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There you go, Martin, Merritt, whomever. Cheers. Well, it's not bad right away, but I know it's going to hit hard here. Oh, I know. Okay. All right. Yep. The worst is, it's just getting started. All right, we ready?
Yeah, I guess it is kind of a slow build a little bit. Oh, man.
You ready?
Yep.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's. Wesley Knope or Ron Swanson?
Ronald Swanson. Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube. Beatles or Elvis?
Beatles. Michael Scott or Dwight Schrute?
Oh, Michael Scott. Office or Parks and Rec?
Office. Mac or PC?
Mac. Peanut butter or jelly?
Oh Oh my God. Peanut butter.
Oh!
French fries or onion rings?
French fries. PS4 or Xbox?
PS4. Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck?
Peyton Manning. Hawks or Cyclones?
Panthers. Star Wars or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings. MJ or LeBron?
LeBron. Ah! Breakfast pizza or McGriddle?
McGriddle. Kobe or Shaq?
Kobe. Nickelback or Creed?
No! Nickelback. Tiger or Phil?
Tiger. Captain America or Iron Man?
Captain America. You're stealing all mine. Batman or Superman?
Batman. I'm in trouble. 96 Chicago Bulls or the Golden State Warriors?
Bulls. All right. Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
NSYNC. Tom Brady or Baker Mayfield?
Oh, no. Brady. That was a good one.
Basketball or baseball?
Basketball. Steve Young or Joe Montana?
Steve Young. Jim Halpert or Dwight Schrute?
Oh, Dwight. Montana or George Kittle?
George Kittle.
Creed or Nickelback?
Neither.
You have to pick one.
I don't like any of them.
You have to pick one. Which one do you hate more or less?
Which one I hate more? Nickelback.
So you like Creed. So just like I've been telling kids for 5 years, you like Creed. Good. Got it on camera. Cut, print, blouses, game over.
Oh my God.
That wasn't so bad.
I can't keep doing this.
Yeah, you're gonna need to do like 1 week.
Congratulations, Mr. Eastburn. You made it through.
Thank you very much.
Anything, holy cow. Anything that you would like to send out before we...
The Oriole Nation.
Sure.
Yeah, again, I know it's kind of a bummer. This is not ideal for anybody. Just hope they're being safe, being smart, staying as active as they can. Trying not to neglect your schoolwork too much. And look for things that are going to be out there and going to be posted, and try and find the silver lining in anything that you can. So, other than that, keep doing the challenges, keep being active. It means a lot to people, particularly the staff, when the kids kind of embrace this stuff and think it's maybe not so lame. Other than that, that's about all I got for them, and listen to me anyway. So.